Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the shed. It's Lonnie, and we are going to pull some eBay orders, talk a little bit about eBay, all that good stuff. Last video, I'll do a quick cut scene here. All right, I grabbed some tape. I taped over the label, and we'll come back and look at it here in about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Or maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. I'll see if it's activated or whatever within the next 30 minutes. But anyway, last video, we looked at that label and it didn't act fast enough. I should have known it wouldn't. But it didn't act fast enough for me to actually show what happened during that video. But I can show y'all now. It's been, what, 3 days, I think, or something. And you can see this bottom part here is all dark. And the part where the tape is getting close to unreadable. I mean, you could still kind of read it. I'm sure like their little scanners or whatever wouldn't be able to pick up on that. And it was interesting, looking at the comments, some people say, yeah, it does that. And some people said we tape over them all the time, and it never does that. It never fades out. And the only thing I can think it must be then is the paper. I use generic third-party labels from eBay, and that probably has something to do with it. That's probably the reason these labels do that. So keep in mind then, like if you, depending on what labels you use, you may want to test that out. If you do tape over your labels, you may want to test that out. Make sure you aren't making your labels hard to read. Anyway, let's pull some eBay orders. Let's look at some sales. I had to actually go and pull this from my other storage unit, the one storage unit I have remaining. This is a homemade Welder figure. You see the welding mask. It looks pretty amateurish. Like I almost wonder if this was made during a welding class. But I like my title here: Homemade Welder Sculpted of a Welder Welding. Welded Welder Welding. Anyway, I got that for, I believe, it's been a while. I didn't buy it last year. I think I bought it the year before at an estate sale. And I want to say I paid about $10 for that. And I kind of questioned whether I should have bought it, for quite a while. But you know what? It finally sold. I got $89.99 plus shipping on top for that. I have to go back to the video game shelf for, well, actually I can leave that here because I'm about to have to go up there to go to the video game shelf for Enter the Matrix for PS2. This sold for $9.99 plus shipping on top. And I also have a PC game that sold. It's Civilization 2 Test of Time. Got kind of a mess going on here. Civilization 2 Test of Time. Where is that at? Here it is, right here. This sold for, I believe, $22.99 plus shipping on top. This was a very small part of huge lot of stuff I got for $30 last spring, I guess. I'll put a quick clip right there so you can kind of get an idea of the immensity of that buy. It was huge, such a good deal. But yeah, I got $22.49 plus shipping on top for that. When I bought this doorknob stuff, actually I think I've sold through more of this than I initially thought. Whenever I bought this, I also bought a bunch of locks. I spent about $100 on everything there. So I think I told you all last time I didn't really do that well with that buy, but at least I'm recouping it, my investment, I guess. Definitely didn't make the money I was hoping I would make. I thought these locks would do better, but I'm just moving these out of the way to get to these guys. I sold all these hot locks in one lot for $31.49 plus shipping on top. Total of 7 locks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. These are vintage, like I would guess 90s. This looks like an early 90s kind of deal to me. But yeah, $31.49 plus shipping on top for those. By the way, I was curious. I looked up Welded welder welding guy right here. He's been on eBay for 625 days and somebody finally wanted it. Okay, I've got an Evan Longoria bat going out. It's right up there, actually. I just put it up, like it sold fairly quickly. I didn't show this in a buy, but I have, if I had to say how much I have into this, it's probably, it's kind of hard for me to say exactly because I buy like bulk stuff at a time. But I would say I probably have 50 to 75 into this if I had to put a number on it. Evan Longoria signed game used bat. It is cracked, and it has the holograms and stuff on it to authenticate it. So yeah, $199.99 plus shipping on top for that. That's actually going overseas. Okay, I sold a Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the Scentsy shelf. Sold Dale Earnhardt Jr. National Guard. I think it's this one. It's almost got to be that one. I'm going to double check it right now. Yep, it's this one because I can tell from the little label there. This sold for $17.99 plus shipping on top. This is like one of the, it might be average value, maybe a little bit lower than average value for those cars. Okay, another video game, Rumble Roses for PlayStation 2. And I put in the listing perfect disc, which I don't like putting words like that, but I'm standing behind it. I'm calling it perfect disc because I think it's perfect. Rumble Roses for PS2. I think I got $10.99 plus shipping on top. I guess that's like women wrestling or something. Is that the theme of that game? No, $11.99 plus shipping on top for that. Car. This is going to be from 2010, which means it's going to be this, or this. Danica Patrick. Nope, that's not it. It is a Danica Patrick, but it's a one of 8043. One of 8,043 produced. So it must be this one. Yep. Number 7 GoDaddy 2010 Impala, one of 8043. And yeah, that is the correct box. So got, let's see, we got $19.99 plus shipping on top for that. I think that might be going overseas too. The shipping is like $17. I believe that's overseas shipping. Simple export rate. Another video game. I'm getting my steps in, by the way. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution for PS2. This sold for $6.99 plus shipping on top. The next two things were bought by a viewer named Gary. So Gary, thank you very much. He also said, good luck to LSU in the national championship game. That is tonight. Thinking we'll beat them by a couple of touchdowns at least, but we'll see. It should be a good game. Really excited to watch that tonight, though. Let's see. First thing he got was mid B shelf, and it's some Bobble Heads. Here they are. They're all in here. It's a bunch of mini Bobble Heads. This sold for $19.79 plus shipping on top. And then the other thing that Gary bought, a lot of 13 John, I can't say that name, audiobooks. So audiobooks are almost finished. Look at this. I think after this sale right here, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 audiobooks left. That's it. So, man, that is awesome. I'm so happy to, like, whenever I first brought those audiobooks in, I looked at them, I was like, I'm never going to sell all these. But now look, they're almost all gone. 240 books down to 14 left. Anyway, thanks a lot, Gary. I hope you liked the stuff. All right, I sold another one of these models. I actually had this on a 10% sale. Probably wouldn't have done that. if I was like paying real close attention, because my profit margins aren't huge on these. I paid $12.99 a piece for these. But anyway, sold this for $22.49 plus shipping on top. And I had to dig around in the cube a little bit for this one, but this should be the right thing. Let's see, 1801.1 hours. Yep, that's right. So this is a tachometer that I purchased at an estate sale, and I sold it. It's for an airplane. I sold it as is, parts only, not working. You know, like I was clear about that. Got $44.99 plus shipping on top. So that ended up doing well too. Like if y'all remember when I bought the Boy Scout stuff, that the airplane stuff is where that came from. I've actually sold, I think that's like the 5th instrument or radio or whatever that I sold from that lot. So I've actually done really well on that lot of airplane stuff too. All right, the rest of the sales I made, there's 2 photos. This is on main account. I think I have some other sales too. Sold 2 photos. This one is of Uriah Faber. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. And also known as the California Kid, some kind of UFC fighter or whatever. He sold for $59.99 plus shipping. And then this other one, this is Troy Tulowitzki at bat, autographed, both of those. He sold for $29.99 plus shipping to Kyle. Thank you very much, Kyle. I really appreciate the business. I hope you love the photo. Come over here and pluck this little guy off the shelf. This is a Batman automobilia little figure thing in a plastic cube. I don't even know what you call that thing right there. But I got $14.99 plus shipping on top for this. This is on my second account, by the way. All right, then I sold a Superbook, which has been a while since I sold one of these guys. I actually sold one of the Superbook Explorers. Should be in a little square. Oh, it's over here. Here we go. Square cardboard case. It's number 2. Like I said, I should have lotted these up a long time ago, but that's fine. They don't take up much room or time or anything like that. Looking for number 2 here. It's used. This is it, I think, right here. Let me make sure it's not another one that I have to differentiate. Nope. So here we go. I've sold a ton of these, and I still have basically all the Explorers, most of the Explorers left. There's 2 different types of Superbooks if you ever see these out in the wild. Some of them are like this. So like this guy, where it's just Superbook. It's like a animated Bible story. These sold super fast, like within a month, because I had a bunch of those. Then these other ones are called Explorers, and those are selling way, way, way slower. So if you ever see the Superbooks, I would buy them. And actually, the Explorers, I think, would sell fine if I just lotted them all up and asked a reasonable amount of money, which is what I probably need to do if I ever get, you know, enough time to be dabbling with listings that are already up. Anyway, I got $9.99 plus shipping on top. No, $9.99 free ship. I did free ship on that one. And the last thing on that account is Far Cry 2 for PS3. It's not part of this buy. So it must be up here. Here we go. Far Cry 2 for PS3. This is also going out on the same order with the rest of Gary's stuff. So Gary bought 3 things. He bought the audiobooks, he bought this game, and what else did he? Oh, he bought the Bobble Heads. So, and yes, I will combine the shipping on this with the Bobble Heads. Actually, what I'll probably do, Gary, I'll probably ship this with the Bobble Heads separate, because it should go first class still, and then this is going to go media. So it doesn't make sense for me to put all that into one box. It'll actually be more expensive than if I do one media box and one first class package box. But I will refund the shipping on this video game. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Okay, it is many hours later, but I wanted to come in and shoot a few Q&A things from the last round of comments from the last video. And yeah, we did just enjoy LSU beating Clemson. What was the final? I can't even remember. It was 17-point win, 42-25, I think. So, I mean, that was awesome. Of course, I'm overjoyed. I was doing a lot of yelling at that TV, especially in the first half. In the first half, Clemson, it felt like, had us kind of figured out. It was confusing us a little bit. But I'm not going to turn this into a football talk. But go Tigers. And yeah, going to miss that guy right there on the door next year. I actually have one. I have another one of these posters right here. Got these at a basketball game. Oh, there's stickers on there. What is that? What are these stickers? I didn't see these before. Oh, future Tiger. No. My daughter's going to Louisiana Tech. But anyway, I have another poster just like this, and I'm sending to Cincinnati Picker, since we're going to be sending Joe Burrow back to Ohio, I think, to go play for the Bengals next year, unfortunately. So, going to put this in a tube and mail it off to CP tomorrow. But man, what a game. But let's do some questions. Here is one from BL State or BL Sta. I don't even know what that is. How do you receive your eBay notifications? By cell or walk into shed and check the iMac, or both? Well, actually on my phone, I'm logged into one of 3 accounts now, and I don't even, like, I'm doing something wrong because I don't get any eBay notifications anymore. I probably have some kind of setting wrong. I haven't taken the time to look at it. But usually I know I made a sale whenever I see a PayPal notification come in. And then I'll go, typically I'll just go take a glance, see what's sold. Oh yeah, but a lot of times I don't even see those. I don't even see the PayPal notifications, and I'll see them whenever I come in the morning and I pull up my, waiting to ship screen or whatever. So I don't ever, I haven't heard a cha-ching in quite a while, just because my phone's not set up right, I guess. Okay, question from Cajun Roots Reseller. Question about Dymo printer. I recently got my Dymo 4XL and really love it, but wanted to know if there's a setting I have to set up when printing. I have a problem from time to time when printing shipping labels. I have the printed one first, then I get a few after it come through. I don't know why that happens. Okay, so I've had that before too, and there's a couple of things that could be happening there. Number one, the labels need to be like positioned to the left because it's reading the barcode. Let me grab my printer real quick. Reading this barcode that's on this side, and I guess if your labels are way over to the right hand side, maybe you could have some trouble picking that up. That's how it knows where the label's at, though, is that little barcode thing. Another thing, I'll try and pull the video up, but there's a good video on how to clean this thing, and I've had to do this maybe, I don't know, 3 times over the past 1.5 to 2 years, however long I've owned this. You pull this off, and there's several different things you can clean inside here. I think you also have to like lift this little guy up, get in there, and there's some like sensors. That's the sensors right there, I think, that read this. But yeah, I'll try and I'll put a link to that video about cleaning it. But the first thing, obviously, your label, you need to make sure, of course, you're using Dymo compatible labels too, because some labels are not Dymo compatible. And yeah, I have had that happen before too, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's the best I can tell you. House of Treasure says, big Tiger fan here, Clemson Tiger, good luck to your team Monday. Would like to hear your take on the game beforehand. I'm thinking we win in a shootout 45-38. What say you? Well, I'm not going to go too in depth because I don't want to make this, like, not everybody likes football talk here. But before the game, I was talking to John, Cincinnati Picker. He asked me for a prediction, and the prediction I gave him was 46-28. So I predicted LSU would win 46-28 by 18 points. And the final score ended up being 42-25, 17 points. So I was in the ballpark. I felt like our secondary was a little better than Clemson's, and I think I was right there. I felt like quarterback play was a wash. I was wrong there. I felt like our receivers were better. I think I was right there, even though they dropped a lot of balls. And yeah, I felt like our secondary was better. So I don't know. I felt like it could really get away from Clemson. I'll admit though that in the first half I was very concerned. Clemson looked very strong. I don't know what happened. The second half they came out the beginning of the third quarter, shut us down, scored a touchdown. It was looking grim, and then something changed. So yeah, but very good game. Y'all have a very good team. Polashek, who I follow on Instagram. Hey Polashek, how you doing? He said, amazing intro. How did you do it? My secret is I did not do it at all. I did not make the intro. I actually had someone, and they can like chime in if you're watching, Jay. Someone named Jay put a comment in a video a couple months back saying, hey, I made up a couple of intros for you if you'd like to use them. And so got in touch with Jay. He emailed them to me, and he made two. He made one for shed flips, and he made one for garage flips, and I just loved them. So I'm using them all the time now. So Jay, if you're watching this, thanks again, man. Really good work. Yeah, put a comment down below, and if you're looking for some gig work making intros, maybe we can get you a little business. I don't know. Here's a question from Richie Chavez. He's talking about printing your own labels and doing that stuff. So it's a waste of time and money. What about shipping items through media mail, books, DVDs, CDs, etc.? How do you go about shipping those? Doesn't the post office have to verify the items you're shipping are media mail eligible? Well, whenever I ship media mail, I pack it all up here in the shed. I weigh it, I print the label, and I bring it to the post office with the rest of my stuff. Now, they don't have to verify the items are media mail before I ship them. However, they can, at their discretion, open those packages to verify their media mail anywhere along the line. So whenever I bring them, whenever I drop them off, they could say, hey, I want to take a look at that, and they could open it up. That's their prerogative. Or somewhere down the line at some kind of distribution center, so they could do the same thing. And then on the other end, post office, they could do it there too. But no, you don't have to present it to them and say, hey, media mail for y'all to verify. Okay, now I can close the box. That's not how it works. You don't have to do that. And I haven't had the post office check my media mail packages ever upon presenting them at the post office. Do they get opened along the way? Probably some of them do. Here's a question from Cindy. Do you usually test out your video games? I've been thinking about buying some and reselling them, but I don't have most of the systems to test them out. Disc-based games, I typically don't test. I just look at them. If the surface is clean, like if they're not scratched up bad at all, I'll typically just sell them. And if somebody has a problem, then I'll refund or whatever I have to do to make it right. And cartridge games I'll usually test. Reason being, I clean the cartridges like with a Q-tip and some isopropyl or some deoxit or whatever. And sometimes I don't clean them good enough or whatever. And I'll set up my little Retron and I'll pop the games in and out. And really on a higher value game, sometimes the cartridges don't work, but it's kind of rare. On a high value game, it might be worth getting finding a Retron 3 or something like that on eBay. You can pick them up pretty cheap. They can actually test NES, SNES, Genesis. They have other versions of Retron that can test more. I also keep I have an N64 on hand that I use to test with, but I don't test disc-based very often at all, and it is very rarely an issue. Shane Beetle says, how do you determine actual shipping costs to the customer when the listing already has predetermined shipping costs? For instance, the shipping says $418, but the actual cost is $675. How do you tell the customer the shipping cost will cost more? Well, a lot of times I will use calculated shipping, and when I do calculated shipping, then I put in the size and the weight of the package once it's packed up. On the occasion that I miscalculate the weight or the size and it ends up being a little more, simple answer, I eat it. I don't tell the customer the shipping will cost more. I just pay it because they paid basically what eBay said it was going to be, and I'm the one that set that up, so that's on me. So yeah, that doesn't come up very often. The calculated shipping is usually pretty accurate. I have seen some errors more often with FedEx than anything else, but even that has been rare for me. But if there is a problem with shipping, and I mean, especially if we're talking like a couple of bucks here, I'm going to eat that every time. Rick, how do you handle your sales when you go away on vacation for 7 to 10 days? If I go on vacation for 7 days, 7 to 10 days, then I'll typically put it on vacation mode. And what vacation mode will do, it will display a message saying when you'll be back. And then I'll also change the handling time to, you know, a day whenever I get back. So that you have to do both. You have to either like put your store in vacation mode and then hide all your listings, or change your handling time. If you don't change the handling time, stuff can still sell even though you're on vacation mode, and you can get dinged for not shipping on time. So you have to do both. You have to either hide or handling time. But what I'll typically do, I'll try to do, is change the handling time. Like if I'm going to be gone on a 7-day vacation, maybe I need to change it to 7-day handling time, 5-day handling time, whatever it is. And I'll typically bring a computer with me on vacation. And I try not to do too much work when I'm on vacation, but you know, after a couple of days, you can knock that handling time down to 5 days or whatever. And then after a couple more days, you can knock it down to 3 days or whatever. And if you're, you know, coming into the weekend and you're gonna get home Sunday saying you want to ship Monday, well, then you can make your handling time 1 day or whatever whatever you used to make it, because now you're into the weekend and you're not dealing with business days anymore. So that's how I handle it. If it was longer than a week, maybe for the first, maybe if, let's say it was a 2-week vacation. In that case, what I might do is I might think about just putting in the store on vacation mode, hiding all listings for like the first week. And then maybe the second week I would unhide and then change handling. I mean, you do whatever fits best for you. Like if you need to make sales, then maybe you do the 14-day handle or whatever. Can you even go 14 days? I don't know what the max handling time is, honestly. But yeah, I mean, just manipulate vacation mode, handling time. Maybe you even want to bulk edit and put in the description, hey, this will not ship until blah, blah, blah date. I've done that before too, bulk edit. And then you can actually bulk edit and search and replace that message with blank text to remove it from all those listings when you get back, if you want an added measure of communication with the buyers. So it's all up to you though, how you're going to handle that. This is a question from Randy. This is kind of a YouTube question. Is wondering, what are the specs you have in the Mac you use to edit? Well, right now, I just bought this Mac though this year. So here are the specs. iMac Retina 5K 27-inch 2019, 3 gigahertz Core i5, 8 gigabytes of memory. It's basically the base model of the 27-inch iMac, and it does really well with the video I edit. Now the other question you asked was, do I edit 4K? I do not edit 4K. I edit 1080 60p. I haven't even tried to edit 4K on this machine. There hasn't really been a reason for me to do that for a reseller video, to edit that and, you know, to produce that and upload that in 4K is just not necessary. So I don't know how well this thing would do with 4K. I know I tried to do 4K. I also have a MacBook Air, and it did the 1080p 60 pretty well. But the 4K, one time I accidentally recorded in 4K on my GoPro, and it about choked. It wasn't even close to processing that stuff. But that's the specs. And you said something about, oh, why I left Mac and went back. So I left Mac because I realized that the Mac I had at the time wasn't powerful enough for me anymore to render video and edit video. And I didn't want to spend the money. So I got like a really good processor and a fast computer for real cheap because it was a Windows machine, and it worked pretty well. Like, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. It rendered fast. I was actually fairly happy with it, but then I missed iMovie. I missed the Mac in general, and then I went back to Mac, got the MacBook Air, and then I got the big iMac here. So, but if it's just bang for your buck as far as processing power, yeah, PC is going to be the way to go. It really is. And I can't fault anybody for using a PC. For me, Mac, I just love Mac. So that's what I do. It comes at a premium though. You got to pay for it. Alrighty, that's going to be it for tonight. I will see y'all again soon. Take care, guys, and go Tigers.